Right then, this is a quick walk around video for a really lovely car. This is a Honda CRZ. It's the sport version, but it's been fitted with some pretty lovely options on the car. You got the 17-inch alloys, and it's got the classic red full leather interior in the car, and rear spoiler, and the white paintwork, and it all makes the car look absolutely stunning. Just 66,000 miles on the car, and it's a really lovely example. Going around the car for you, starting with the front as always, very clean indeed. Bonnet, I can't see any obvious stone chips on there. There will be something somewhere, of course, but I can't see anything that jumps out at me. I mean, what a striking car. It still is way ahead of its time, as always with Honda. Near side, lovely and clean in the panel work. Can't see any obvious indentations that will leap out at me. And coming around the back of the car, the spoiler is just a subtle little sort of lip spoiler on the boot lid there, but it completely transforms the look of the car to me. It just, without them, they tend to just sort of kind of slope away. It's lovely to see it on the car. Around the off side of the vehicle, again, very clean and tidy. A little touching on the rear bumper corner there. That's about as much as I can see on the car. But externally, for a car that's now, what is it, crikey, 11 years old, it's in very nice condition. Let's come into the boot area. In all honesty, I mean, you look at the fabric on the, it's hard to say with the video, but that looks absolutely like brand new. It's like the back's hardly been used. Worth noting that the rear seats obviously fold down, and I recommend you do it because the rear seats are next to useless. That is the legroom you get. So I always tell people you must consider this realistically as a two-seater, but with an enormous boot. Let's come into the front of the car now. So you get the red inserts in the doors as well. Leatherwork is in beautiful condition, it really is. The whole interior is really very nice indeed. And just to show you, owner's manual pack and locking wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. It's coming in front on the driver's side, again, all very clean and tidy. The driver's seat itself may well be 11 years old, but it's in super condition. So inside the car now, engine's running through this section so the dash can be seen illuminated. What a gorgeous interior it is, and as you'd expect a Honda, it's just been kept beautifully, it really has. Come up here, so turn the fuel light off, sorry. I mean, that is just a stunning dash design, it really is. No warning lights aside from obviously just the low fuel light currently illuminated, but it's in lovely condition. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CRZ, and it's the sport model. This car is registered, if I can read it, SG61AYN, and with a mileage of 66,645 recorded. The reason we do all of our videos is simply so that if anyone's online, they actually get to see the car we're advertising in operation. And the reason we feel it's important is because we've been to see loads of cars which look perfectly good in photographs, but when you get to drive them you find out they've got an obvious fault you'd much rather known about before setting off, so hence that's why we do it. Coming to this car, first and foremost, I stick my hand up and say I am massively biased. I adore these cars, but I will do the usual checks on the car. I do on all of them in an impartial way. Starting with the engine, which obviously push button start was kind of silently into life, settles to a smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all related to the engine or any other part of the car, aside from a low fuel light currently, which we'll attend to shortly. But it's just fantastic. These are what's these days referred to as a self-charging hybrid. Basically what that means is you drive it and own it like a normal petrol car. So there's no running out of battery. You literally, all you're going to do is get low on fuel, as I am now, put some fuel in, pump for a couple of minutes, and you're on your way again. The hybrid system works in a way where It charges itself up when you hit the brake pedal, as I am now. The battery can't go flat in that sense, so you know it doesn't have kind of the anxiety that's built into some of these full electric cars. Engine is available to be used in 3 modes. You've got Econ, Normal and Sport. Basically it generally runs in normal when you first start the car. Press the Sport button and it changes immediately the performance of the car. And as I say in the advert, it's the one I tend to drive in most of the time when I've had mine, because it just fits the character of the car. There's much more urgency to it, and the combination, it's seamless. The power delivery, absolutely seamless between the hybrid system. It's just fantastic. And the engine, when you push on, it's got that keen, smooth, such a lovely engine. Clutch, perfect. Bike pointed exactly where it's meant to be. It's lovely and smooth. And then you've got one of the best gearboxes you'll ever use in a car. It's perfect in every way. Starting with the gear knob, how it feels in your hand, the actual quality of the gear change. It's fast, it's precise. It's one you want to change gear with because it just works brilliantly with the car, and that feels exactly like it would have done when it was new. There's simply no slack in it at all. Coming to the steering, first and foremost, the track's absolutely dead straight. There's no wobble at this speed or any speed up to legal limit, but a lovely setup. The whole steering and chassis work so nicely together. Steering's brilliantly weighted. It's pinpoint accurate. It's precise. And it just feels very confidence inspiring on the road. Even at all speeds, it's communicative. And it said that the chassis works with it fantastically well because the car's so keen to change direction, so eager in that way. And as I say in many previous videos, but also in the advert, it really does remind me of kind of the halcyon days of hot hatches, kind of the 80s and 90s, where cars were sort of much lighter, so they were much nicer to drive generally. You didn't have to drive them like a hooligan to get any kind of pleasure out of driving them. And this is a classic example. It is a hoot to drive. Yet the flip side is, when you're not in the mood like now, it's incredibly smooth and comfortable. It's so compliant, the chassis. It's an amazing piece of work. There's also, by the way, absolutely no clonks or rattles coming from underneath the car. The whole car just feels incredibly tight to drive, I have to say. Coming inside, obviously this one benefits from this lovely classic red leather interior option, which looks superb in the car. Beautifully built cars, no squeaks, no rattles, but also a lovely place to sit because, you know, let's face it, most cars you get into, they could all be pretty much from any manufacturer. You just get a binnacle here and a centre stack and it's all much the same. Certainly this generation of the car. There's this one, you get in it, first of all, your driving position is perfect. You sit low in the car, arms straight ahead, hip points, everything about it's spot on for, you know, an enthusiastic driver, but also to be comfortable in the car. The rest of it is just joyfully easy to use. You've got massive radio, which for a dinosaur like me is perfect. Climate control pod on this side, engine and other functions on this side here, all very symmetrical, ergonomically brilliant in terms of their design, and very reminiscent of the S2000 in that sense. It worked well there, so it works well here. And then you've got this wonderful dash binnacle in front, almost arcade-like in the graphics, the colourings, but it's just a really lovely place to sit and drive a car. It's you know, most cars are pretty soulless these days, but this has just got bags of character in the right way. Everything's working, air conditioning pumping out absolutely ice cold air, cruise control, just checked it there, working exactly as it should. It's a wonderful car. As I said, I am biased. I love these cars, but it drives absolutely faultlessly. Can't fault it in any way.